Good evening, church. When we come to worship, we come to be fed by bread and wine, by water and word, by song and community of body. We should not come to worship ever experiencing homophobic, xenophobic, any other phobic, or any sort of racial behavior. That behavior of racism was exhibited in a picture that was shown in worship yesterday, and I take full and 100% responsibility for it being shown. For the past 5 years, I've been able to serve you as the assistant to the presiding bishop and the executive for worship for this church, and I've attempted to do so faithfully. We spent 2 years planning the worship for the church-wide assembly with tens of thousands of details, 30 to 40 people who help us this week, which I'm grateful for. And unfortunately, this was one detail, one very major detail that fell through the cracks. I grieve because I know that through that, many of you grieved. I am deeply apologetic. And even though tomorrow at 10 a.m., I am finished with this job, and I can turn my attention to being the bishop-elect of the Southeastern Synod. But I do not walk away without addressing this and the responsibility that I have for it as the person who's been the caretaker of worship for this church. And so we have met with our worship team and the team of 40 volunteers. I've met with our colleague, John White, who will be the interim assistant to the presiding bishop for worship. He is committed to, with Presiding Bishop Eaton, to make sure we put into place our authentic diversity that this church so needs. We pledge to you that not only will we do better, we must. So I extend this apology to you, and I ask your forgiveness, and I ask that you know that it's important to hold one another accountable. May God continue to guide us and bless us, knowing that as the family of God, sometimes as family members, we don't always get it right. Bishop.
I also take responsibility as presiding bishop of this church. One thing that was pointed out to me was that this was unintentional, but the degree of cultural competency that we have in this church is lacking. And so what we've said what we're going to do is going to be painful and difficult, but we're committed to do it. And so I also apologize. Thank you.